the market's priced in, a lot of bad news back in February, especially March, down 35% for the S&P 500. It's up over 30% from the low. And, there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that obviously the curve is starting to bend in terms of COVID-19, not only in Europe and in Asia, but in the U.S. now as well. And as you say, more states are starting to reopen. I think about 24% of the economy is now reopening. And obviously the hopes are that that will continue over the summer. And so the markets always discount the future. And, we don't always know the future, of course, but with the curve flattening and bending and the economy starting to gradually reopen, and it'll be a very choppy process, and people are going to be worried about a second wave. And, so all of that taken into consideration, the market is starting to move kind of towards looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think, because of the policy response that we had in such a dramatic and fast way in the U.S. and around the world, the markets were able to kind of put aside an extreme left tail scenario for the markets, and that's why they've kind of walked back from the abyss, and we've recovered, or we have retraced about half of the decline, at least here in the U.S. I mean, the U.S. is ahead of most markets in terms of how much it has come back.
Yeah, and the thing is, the markets have run ahead in expectation of the reopen, bringing about some more recovery in the economy as well as the demand environment. So my question to you next is, what does this mean, this period of transition mean for the market's direction next? Because like you said, we've covered half ground.
Yeah, so the S&P has come back to about 2950 last week. Its resilience really has been very impressive. Every time we think the market is really going to get knocked down, it still crawls back, and we had that even today because, we had the Warren Buffett news over the weekend where he really didn't sound very optimistic, and the futures opened down last night into this morning, and then the market was able to do quite well as a result. And so, the market is pricing in a recovery. But having said that, moving from 2,200 on the S&P to 2,900 is quite a move. Still well below the highs in February, of course, of 3,400 or so. But my sense is that at this point, the market has rallied about as much as it's going to while we are waiting for kind of the pace of the reopen, and then more importantly, the risk of another wave and whether that's going to require states or regions to close down again. And so I do think that at this point, the markets have priced in a fair bit of good news, and we'll need to have more confirmation before being able to go any further.